but literally drag your guts out. Your intestines and, other insides are pulled out and set on fire in front of you. After your insides get roasted like a medieval barbecue, they behead you and chop your corpse into 4 pieces. Arms here, legs there, head for the town square. Each piece displayed as a grisly keep out sign. Legend has it that even the crows would politely avoid the execution site, out of respect, or just disgust. So, if you're ever tempted to betray your king, just remember, there's no undo button on this one. Number 2, impalement. Brought to you by Vlad the Impaler. Yep, he didn't get that nickname for cuddling kittens. Here's the setup. You anger Vlad. Maybe you didn't pay taxes. Perhaps you betrayed him. Or maybe you just looked at him funny. Now, imagine a giant sharpened stake, greased with oil for smooth entry. The stake goes in somewhere, delicate, usually the bottom end, and is carefully guided up through your torso. Vlad's executioners were artists at missing vital organs, so you didn't just die instantly. Gravity did the rest. You'd slowly slide down that stake under your own body weight. Some victims lasted hours, others days. Villagers passing by would hear the forest of screams echoing through the Carpathian hills. Fun fact, or, well, fun. Vlad reportedly impaled tens of thousands of people to scare off invading armies. Legend says the Ottoman troops once turned back in horror after seeing a mile-long road lined with writhing, dying human scarecrows. And if you think that's overkill, Vlad was so committed to the vibe that he'd host feasts while surrounded by the impaled. So, next time you see a pointy stick, say a little thank you for living in the century of takeout, not stakeout. Number 3. Skephism. It's probably the worst picnic in human history. So here's the menu. First, you're stripped naked and sandwiched between 2 hollowed-out logs or boats, leaving your head, hands, and feet sticking out. Very cozy. Then they'd force-feed you milk and honey until your insides turned into a bubbling yogurt factory, except you're the container, and there's no lid. The combo made you vomit and have explosive diarrhea non-stop, which was the whole point. Your waste attracts swarms of flies, beetles, maggots, anything with legs and an appetite for fresh meat. But wait, it gets sweeter. They'd smear your exposed skin in more honey, so the bugs didn't just crawl around. They burrowed into your eyes, nose, course, ears, and every fold of skin. Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian, wrote about Persian kings using this to punish traitors. One unlucky soldier named Mithridates supposedly survived 17 days before the bugs were done with him. Imagine being slowly hollowed out by insects for over 2 weeks while drifting in a swamp. It's basically nature's slowest, grossest death sentence, and you're the buffet, the bait, and the dessert all in one. So, if anyone offers you milk and honey near a swamp, run. Number 4. Breaking on the wheel. If you thought medieval punishments were already spinning out of control, wait till you meet breaking on the wheel. Think that you're tied down, spread-eagled to a massive wagon wheel, arms and legs out like a starfish on a medieval torture buffet. Then comes the breaker, the executioner wielding an iron bar thicker than your regrets. He'd swing it down on your limbs, smashing bones one at a time. They had a method too. They'd go for shins, thighs, forearms, upper arms, so you didn't just die instantly. Sometimes, they'd weave your floppy broken limbs through the spokes to make sure you stayed pinned there. Then they'd raise it on a pole and leave you there, a living scarecrow for crows, dogs, and bored villagers to gawk at. Some poor souls lasted hours or even days, birds pecking at their wounds, the sun roasting them alive. Moral of the story? If your kingdom's law says don't steal, maybe just don't, or at least have good bones. Number 5. Strappado. Think your shoulders crack when you stretch? Medieval torturers turned that into a whole performance called the strappado. Here's how it worked. They'd tie your hands behind your back, loop a rope around your wrists, and hoist you up like a medieval piñata. But instead of candy falling out, it was your shoulders popping out. They didn't just yank you up once either. They'd drop you suddenly, jerking your body weight against your own joints. You'd hear that stomach-churning pop as your shoulders dislocated, and sometimes elbows and wrists too. And if you still hadn't confessed to whatever they wanted, they'd pull you up again and do it all over. The Inquisition especially loved this trick. To them, nothing loosened lips faster than turning your arms into spaghetti noodles. Some versions got extra creative. They'd tie weights to your ankles to make the drop even nastier, or give you a little twist mid-air to shred the tendons. Afterward, you'd be left hanging there, your arms behind you at an angle nature didn't intend. Imagine trying to scratch your nose after that. Moral of the story? Stretch all you want. Just don't let medieval torturers be your personal trainers. Number 6. Dismemberment by horses. When one horse isn't enough punishment, bring 4. So here's the medieval game plan. The victim, usually a traitor, murderer, or someone who really annoyed the wrong king, gets tied up, spread-eagled style, one rope for each arm and leg, each rope tied to a powerful horse. Then, on the executioner's command, the horses are whipped. The victim's limbs are yanked in 4 different directions, like a human wishbone, but with horsepower. If you're imagining this was quick, sorry. Sometimes the horses weren't strong enough or well trained, so the execution could get awkward. The victim might end up half-ripped, screaming for ages, while the executioner encouraged the horses to pull harder. In France, this was famously used on Robert François Damiens in 1757 for trying to assassinate King Louis XV. It took the horses hours to finish the job. They even had to slice tendons to help the process along. Crowds loved it, because apparently nothing says stay loyal to the king like seeing a man pulled apart like medieval pulled pork. Lesson learned, betray the crown and you'll be everywhere. Literally. Number 7. Rat torture. Imagine a rat. Now imagine it's starving. Now imagine it wants out, and your intestines are the only exit. Rat torture was basically the Middle Ages saying, why get your hands dirty when a rat can do it for you? Here's how it went down. Your bare belly was strapped down, and a metal cage full of half-starved rats was placed on top. Then they'd heat the other side of the cage with burning coals. The rats, desperate to escape the rising heat, would do what rats do best: gnaw, claw, and tunnel their way out, straight through your stomach wall. The screaming? Oh, that was just the confession part. You'd spill every secret you ever had, probably even your neighbor's secrets, before those squeaky little diggers made it to your ribcage. This wasn't just a rumor either. From Roman emperors to Dutch rebels, plenty of history's worst villains had a rat box in their torture toolkit. And if, by some miracle, you didn't die from the rats, infection would handle the final act. So next time you see a rat rummaging through your garbage, thank your lucky stars it's not rummaging through your liver. In short, if the rats show up for a visit, don't make them feel welcome. Number 8. Brazen Bull. The Brazen Bull was a Greek masterpiece of human grilling. This beautiful hunk of torture tech was a life-size hollow bronze bull with a little trapdoor in the side, just big enough to shove in one very unlucky criminal. Once you were locked inside, they'd light a fire under the bull's belly. The metal would heat up like an oven, slowly roasting you alive while you screamed your lungs out. But wait, it gets creative. The bull was designed with pipes and tubes in its head, so your dying screams would echo out as a terrifying bull-like roar. So to the crowd, it sounded like a massive, furious beast bellowing in agony. This sadistic invention was credited to a Greek tyrant named Phalaris, who reportedly tested the bull on its inventor, just to make sure it worked properly. Talk about a product demo gone wrong. The Brazen Bull was used for traitors, heretics, or anyone who needed to be turned into ancient charcoal. Imagine the smell, picture the sound.